Hello everybody, I'm Tina Chaudhary. Welcome to my channel and a very warm namaste. Today I'm going to be talking about a very important planetary event that's going to be happening in the next few days. There's a total solar eclipse going to happen on December 14th. It's not visible everywhere. I'll show you the map of where it's visible, but it has an effect on all of us and the whole world. Solar eclipses happen when the sun is overshadowed by either Rahu or Ketu. Rahu and Ketu are virtual planets. They're not real planets. They're the shadows of the moon. So Rahu is the north shadow of the moon and Ketu is the south shadow of the moon. So this time the total solar eclipse is happening when the sun is being shadowed by Ketu, which is the south node of the moon. So we're going to talk about what happens when the sun is shadowed by Ketu and all the other planets that are accompanying this eclipse. In order to evaluate or analyze what happens or what are the effect of an eclipse, you have to look at all the planets that are involved and where that eclipse is happening. So this eclipse is happening in Scorpio, in the house of Scorpio. Now, a lot of you may have heard other YouTube videos that say the eclipse is happening in Sagittarius. That's based on tropical astrology. I'm basing it on Vedic astrology. And what is the difference? Vedic astrology does the calculations based on sidereal astrology calculations. The difference between tropical and sidereal is tropical assumes that the Earth rotates at a perfectly round circle, straight, and Vedic astrology assumes that the Earth is tilted a little bit, and so its rotation is at an ellipse. It's elliptical, so it calculates that angle of ellipse, and hence the distribution of the houses and the planets is calculated based on that, the angle of that difference. So as I mentioned before, the eclipse is happening in the sign of Scorpio. But it's actually happening at the edge of Scorpio, where it meets Sagittarius. This point in Vedic astrology is called Gandant. Gandant actually just means not, but actually, if you think about it, Mars is ruled by fire, and Sagittarius is ruled by water. So every time fire and water meet, they produce another element, which is steam. Steam is very, very volatile and powerful. Also, going from fire to water is actually very transformational because of the two opposing elements. So the eclipse, because it's happening at that Gandant point, which is a very transformational, volatile energy. So if you think about it, the eclipse carries a very important message of volatility and a transformation. So the key element of this eclipse is going to be transformation of some kind, transformation in various ways. Some transformations are good, some transformations are bad, but definitely a very transformational energy that the sun will carry through the eclipse. It's occurring in the house of Scorpio, which is ruled by Mars, so Mars will have a say in it. Sun and Ketu obviously are the planets that are causing the eclipse, so Sun, Ketu, Mars, and then Mercury is sitting right next to Sun, so Mercury will have a say in it too. Venus, even though it's not part of the eclipse, but it's in the house, so maybe Venus will have a little bit of a say in it. So they're going to have a say in it. So let's understand the significance of all these planets. So Sun represents leadership, celebrities, people in power, governments also. So that's who Sun represents. At a metaphysical level, it represents our soul and our ego and our father. So that's the representation of Sun. Ketu represents incidents that have occurred already, past incidents, secretive incidents, issues or items or things that happen that are hidden for now. And Ketu is a very secretive, a very hidden planet, so it's actually doesn't want people to know anything. So it's incidents that happened in the past that nobody knows about or were hidden for a very long time. Mars is very action-oriented, and remember I said that it's happening in Gandant, in that Gandant degree, so action is coming from Mars, and the fact that it's in Gandant, Mars represents people that wear uniforms and cops and the forces, so Mars will definitely have a role to play in that. Venus is all things beautiful, relationships, beauty, and fashion, movie stars, celebrities, and that. Mercury rules our communication, our speech, our social media, newscasters, and news channels, and finance. So those are the significations of all those planets that are involved in the eclipse. Let's see what the prediction comes out when we put all of these together in one bowl, and what do we end up with. And can I just tell you that this video has been the most difficult to make, because everywhere I go there's either a sound or a light problem, so I keep moving around. And now the video, literally, I'm being transformed. My whole video, the transformation is definitely the key right now. Anyway, so let's go to the predictions part of what do I think is going to happen before I have to move again. So definitely I'm seeing transformation at the political level, high levels. Obviously the US is getting a new president, so we already know that. There's no prediction there, but it's definitely, obviously you can see how it's supporting that. But a lot of political unrest and change at the leadership levels. Wherever there's elections, there may be complete changes at the politician or the top level, admin levels. A lot of political unrest, protests, because the fact that Mercury's involved, the fact that the sun is eclipsed, and the sun means leadership and governing bodies. So a lot of political unrest for sure will happen in a lot of countries, especially where the eclipse is visible, but it actually can happen anywhere. Also, the one main thing is, this is my main prediction, is that there's going to be news or information that will come out about some high-level leaders, some celebrities, politicians, that's been hidden for a long time. So it's some sort of a scandal breaking out in the next few months about information about an event that happened in the past that they had kept hidden, and now will break out and come out in the open. So that's definitely something that I think may happen. The other thing that's going to happen is, because of the Gandant energy of fire and water, I think there's prediction for disasters like cyclones, typhoons, or earthquakes, maybe, so unfortunately there's a possibility of that happening. Also, some accidents over water. It could be air accidents or other water related accidents that happen. Unfortunately, sometimes bad things have to be predicted if we see that. So I think some of that may occur too. The effects of an eclipse usually are greatest around the eclipse and up to 30 to 40 days, about 60 days after the eclipse is happening. So, but there's a very big event happening in February where 6 planets are getting together in one house. So definitely from December on to February, there's going to be a lot happening. There's a lot of political drama. There's a lot of scandals and stuff breaking out because of the planets being very busy. So we'll see a lot of that then. But generally, the effect of an eclipse happens until the next eclipse. So the next eclipse is in June of 2021. So, but all of this, I think, is going to happen in the next few months. So that's all good about the worldly predictions, but how does it affect each and every one of us? Well, obviously, everybody's prediction is going to be very different because everybody's birth chart is different. It depends on where your Mercury and where your sun is placed, and also depends on where your house of Scorpio falls in your birth chart. So everybody's going to get a different prediction. Everybody can't get the same prediction, but there are general predictions that apply to almost all of us. So let's look at it. The sun represents our ego. Definitely watch that ego, and Mercury represents communication. So there may be stuff where we say because of ego we may have some issues. So I definitely need to control that ego because it's going to be at an all-time high, and because Mercury, the significator of communication, is sitting right next to it. So you do need to watch your ego and your communication that you have with your loved ones. And since Venus is sitting right there, which is the planet of relationships, definitely don't let ego get in the way and where you say something to somebody, because it's the prime time where your ego will make you say stuff to people, especially important relationships, and burn them. So make sure you watch that. The other thing is that Mercury does represent finance. It's not a good time to make financial changes or make financial decisions regarding your finances and changes to either investments or other things like that. I definitely caution you that this is not the right time to do that. Also, if people are giving you advice regarding finances and everything, now's not the best time to use it, because Jupiter, which is the planet of guidance, even though it's not involved in the eclipse, but it's not sitting in a really good state. There's going to be another video that comes out why that's happening. So you may not be getting the best advice right now. So just sit tight, don't make any financial changes, and you'll be good. Now, one of the other things is, I understand we're giving you all these bad things, don't do this and don't do that, but there are certain things that you can do that would actually be so helpful. So remember I said it's the time for transformation and self-knowledge, or finding out things about yourself that you didn't realize you had. But you can also do this with your loved ones. You know, you can find out and realize things, good things about yourself, good things about your loved ones and your relationships that you didn't know you had, and actually say nice things to them and transform your relationships and yourself for the better. So transformational energy is always good if you use it for better, not for worse. So and if you try to do that, it's an excellent time, because it will work, because the energy right now is very transformational. So it supports transformation. So if you want to transform for the better, if you want your relationships to transform for the better, it's going to be very supportive, and it's really going to work out. If you want to introspect and think about what you do best, what are some of the things you're good at, and you want to improve on that, it's an excellent time for that. So definitely put your mind to that. Introspect, look into yourselves, because remember, the sun is your soul. Look into yourself and figure out what you're good at, or what you're not so good at, and it's a little bit challenging for you, and then, you know, resolve to improve that, and actually it might work, because it's a great time to improve yourself also. For the solar eclipse information. If you like my video, please do hit the like button, share my video, and subscribe to my channel so you get notification of my upcoming videos. Goodbye for now.